This is good.
It's all over your face.
Hey guys, and welcome to the very first episode of Coast to Coast. Today we're going to be starting with my home state of California and making one of its most iconic dishes, Baja style fried fish tacos. California is a super diverse state full of culinary comestibles from all over the world, but one of its really big influences comes from its southern border of Mexico. We'll start by making its signature Chipotle sauce. Grab a small bowl and mix a half a cup of mayonnaise, a half a cup of sour cream, dice up a couple Chipotles, and 2 to 3 teaspoons of the Adobo Sauce. You can add a little more Chipotle or Adobo if you want the sauce a little spicier. Mince up a couple cloves of garlic. You can do this by hand, but I much prefer to use a garlic press. For a little bit of acidity and brightness, let's zest and juice 1 lime. Now mix all that together and we'll set it aside for later. For the slaw, shred 2 cups of red cabbage, 2 cups of green cabbage, and thinly slice a half a red onion. Finally chop up about a half a cup of cilantro and pour in a half a cup of apple cider vinegar and a couple good tablespoons of olive oil. Season with salt and fresh cracked pepper. Put on a fresh pair of gloves. Put on a second pair of gloves and toss these around, wishing you had used a much bigger bowl. A big part of the reason I started doing these videos was to learn a lot of new things. So here's a first for me, homemade flour tortillas. We'll start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a half a teaspoon of salt, 3/4 of a cup of water, and 3 tablespoons of lard. Yes, lard. If you see any other recipes that call for vegetable oil, butter, anything like that, don't trust it. Lard is the way to go. It would probably be best to cut this in with a pastry knife, but I didn't have one, so I'll just mix it with a fork until it comes together and then mix it by hand. Lightly flour a work surface and turn the dough out. This dough does not need a lot of kneading, maybe 10 to 15 times, and then let it rest for 10 minutes. Using a super handy bench scraper, cut the dough in 8 equal portions while heating a dry pan on medium heat. Roll each ball of dough into a 6 to 7 inch circle, and working in batches, place in the pan to cook for 1 minute on each side. You can keep them warm in a low oven or this handy dandy tortilla warmer. Now we need to get our fish ready for the beer batter. Put a pot on the stove and heat 2 to 3 inches of vegetable oil to 340 degrees. Now let's take out our cod and cut into 2-inch strips. Each week you'll see that a big part of the show is either cooking with and or pairing a locally featured craft beer with each recipe. And this week we're featuring my boys at Four Sons Brewing in Huntington Beach, California. With their Surf City Pale Ale, it's going to make this beer batter fantastic. Mix 1 cup of all-purpose flour with 2 tablespoons each garlic powder and paprika. Mix in 1 beaten egg, a little kosher salt, fresh cracked pepper for seasoning, and the 12-ounce can of Surf City Pale Ale. Lightly whisk together. It's okay if there's a few clumps in there. Working in small batches, dredge each piece of fish in the beer batter and drop into the hot oil. Don't put all the fish in at the same time, because this will drop your oil temperature too much. Since these are pretty small pieces, you only need to fry them for about 3 or 4 minutes. Once they come out of the oil, season them with kosher salt. Now let's build those tacos. Slice 1 lime into wedges and put 2 of them on the edge of the plate to prop up the shells. I do want to point out that authentically corn tortillas would traditionally be used. However, I love flour tortillas with Baja fish tacos. Place a small handful of slaw on the bottom and top with a couple pieces of the fish. Spoon some of the Chipotle sauce on and slice an avocado to put on top. It's critical to give a fresh squeeze of lime. Now let's dig in. Don't forget to pour a glass of the Surf City Pale Ale by Four Sons Brewing in Huntington Beach, and I think I need to pull up a chair for this one. This beer is seriously magical with these tacos. There are very few things in life that make me happier than tacos, and tacos and beer are one of them. The sweet honey malt and the soft floral flavors cut perfectly through the oily fish, and the citrusy aroma complements everything going on in these tacos. And being that these are fried fish tacos, the carbonation levels on this pale ale cut perfectly through this, refreshing your palate for the next bite. As you can see by the smile on my face, I was a happy camper. Can't wait to see you guys next week.